they've really let themselves down on the recruitment, more even, not from a skill perspective, because these are clearly very talented players. Wirtz, I'm going to put an asterisk in because I don't actually know if he's that good. You've got personalities that clearly don't work well together and don't work well for a Liverpool. Liverpool's built on different stuff.
Liverpool are in crisis mode. This is what we're seeing. 5 losses this season, 17 goals conceded. And Alexander Isak no-show. Florian Wirtz, who knows what's going on with him? What is going on at Liverpool? This is what we're here. £400 million worth of new signings. None of them are working, it seems. So, this is what we're here to fix. With me is Liam O'Meara and Scott Naylor. I am Martin Naylor. We are the Fixing Football Podcast, and welcome. If you are new here, feel free to do all the good social media things and like and share and subscribe and get involved. We're at fixingfootballpodcast.com. You can find all our social media there, and we would love for more people to be part of it. We did really try and get a Liverpool fan involved in this, but none of them, they might be still a bit hurting from the weekend. But, as I said, we're here to discuss Liverpool. The big topic at the moment, it's the big story. So, boys, first of all, welcome. Are we all good?
Yeah.
All good.
It was a very powerful entrance, man. I liked it.
I'm pumped up. You know me. I love a good flop story, and this is, as long as it's not pointing in my direction, I can get on board. Where should we start? Let's let Liam. Is it crisis mode? Is it crisis time for Liverpool and Arne Slot?
Question. It was quite interesting that you mentioned that no Liverpool fans wanted to talk to us because, much like their team, they all kind of shit the bed, didn't they, and didn't really want to speak to us. It probably is a crisis. It probably is a crisis now. Liverpool fans certainly seem to think it is. The reaction last night was quite severe. I think it was quite a telling moment, I think, because last season they went there and won, and they were looking every bit the title winners that they were going to be. And yesterday, Sunday, they looked every bit the mid-table side that they are. I think Man City really played with them at parts in that game.
Scott, crisis?
Absolutely. And I think we've seen the reaction from Liverpool fans. We've gone past the blip phase now. And I think what we're seeing now is the panic start to set in as the realisation creeps over Slot and over the players and over the fans as well. You can feel the Liverpool fan reaction. It's more severe on the likes of TalkSport, but even in the grounds as well. You can just feel that anxiety starting to build. And I think it's because they know deep down that what they're seeing, this isn't a quick fix. There's potentially a long road back to where they thought they would be as we speak. So yeah, I don't think there's any other word but crisis for what's going on at Liverpool.
Right. Well, crisis usually involves some sort of quick snap decision that can either be the fix or it can lead to more problems down the line. I'm assuming, Liam, you're listening to TalkSport and the fans' reaction post the game on Sunday, that calling for Slot's head was one of them headlines.
I want to talk about Slot separately later on.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot to get into with Slot. But when we talk about quick fixes, I think they've already been looking for them already. You mentioned 2 big ones straight away with Isak and Wirtz not in the starting 11. Robertson back in the team. Gravenberch restored to that sort of pivot role. They kind of scrambled back to the team, theoretically, that was as close to the team that won the league as last year. And the bounce that they've got off that didn't last very long. So I think they're desperately looking for quick fixes, but they're not there, like you quite rightfully say.
Scott, let's talk about the signings then. I mean, where do you want to start? Let's work our way up. First of all, the goalkeeper. Let's give him his credit. I think he's coming in. He has maybe the biggest gloves to fill in the Premier League in terms of a replacement, and he's maybe been chucked in earlier than planned. I'm gonna be devil's advocate here for Liverpool because I feel like you two have got fairly good points about to come up about why they're failing. But
you're being the red corner.
I'm
the red cartel corner.
I'm enjoying this the most, but silently, and I'm going to be Liverpool's friend in this one.
Okay.
So, Mamardashvili saved the penalty on Sunday, has looked a little bit better in recent weeks, but is he the answer to replace Alisson? Big question mark. We'll move on from that one. The fullbacks.
Well, before you move on from Mamardashvili, I think it's important to know they put a goalkeeper in who doesn't speak English. That can't help. And that's a very that's a very basic thing. But when you're
I didn't
looking
know
for
that.
when you're looking for a defensive line and trust from your defenders, being able to talk to them would help. Especially when Konate doesn't know where to stand all of a sudden. So being able to communicate that to him might actually help him. So we'll move on, but not get too dinged, because I do agree. I think he's looking better, but that was an issue, I think.
What stinks about that is he's had a year's notice as well to learn at least a little bit of English. He was on loan, he was signed.
Yeah, it wasn't a deadline day deal, was it? Caught him by surprise.
The fullbacks, Kirkes, Frimpong. What's that, around £85 million, something between them?
It's in that region.
Shape. Frimpong seemingly dropped. There's no injuries that I'm aware of. Kirkes has looked a mess since he's been there.
He's been awful.
But he used to be an interesting label for them, I think. Fullbacks. Would you call them fullbacks, mine? Because that's the first thing that I think of when I think of them two.
I mean, they are very modern fullbacks, let's call them that. They're not the inverting type, but they are very comfortable on the ball, overlapping, quick, dynamic, call them what you want. They aren't the traditional Ashley Cole, Gary Neville, left and right back here, even Trent and Andy Robertson level. I mean, is that... Part of me thinks that's maybe the biggest upset to this team, is that they haven't settled quickly. You'd think that maybe getting a right back in to replace Trent, who was maybe the least disciplined of all the right backs out there, who people said was super talented, to bring in Frimpong, that's a quick fix. We get the next best guy in Europe, and he just slots in right there, and he overlaps, and he does what he does. That hasn't worked. He's looked so out of place, it's ridiculous. In Kirkes, you'd thought they bought him from Antarctica or something. Like, it's like he's been in the Premier League. He's done really well. He's already done well.
Yeah, it's a massive mess. And I think let's talk about Frimpong for one. And I think the interesting thing about Frimpong is that the writing was on the wall with this before that deal was done. I think a lot of football fans were quite surprised at the Frimpong signing, because the consensus was that Liverpool have managed to find the one right back in Europe who is worse defensively than Trent Alexander-Arnold was. And he was playing in a league, and I think the Bundesliga has got a lot to answer for, because there's a common denominator amongst a lot of the poorest signings we've seen in the Premier League of recent years. Big money, high profile signings as well.
Yeah.
And they all do come from the Bundesliga. But with Frimpong, you've got someone who can clearly get forward, no issue, but you're dealing with, it's a different kettle of fish when you come to the Premier League. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but it's true. And with Trent, although you didn't get amazing defensive cover, you got such a unique weapon that he could basically get an assist from the right back position, because his eye for a pass was so good.
Yeah.
And it's also then, I think the loss of Trent is massively linked to Salah's downfall, which I'm sure we'll get to. But you've not gone like for like there. You've maybe gone for the best name afterwards, the best sort of available right back that you could realistically get your hands on. But your profile, it's such a different profile of player. And Trent's very unique. You can't really replace Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. It's very difficult. So they've got a bit of a mess there. And Kirkes, it's hard to say really, because it's an inter-Premier League move, and he was just in the team of the year. As called on the Fixing Football podcast by me, Cucurella was the best left back in the Premier League last year, but you know, we're not here to talk about that. And Kirkes, you would think, moving to a bigger club with better players around him, would just slot straight in. But I think maybe the pressure of playing for Bournemouth is not the pressure of playing for Liverpool. And you're taking over from one of the Premier League's all-time best left backs. It's a lot to put on the shoulders of someone who, I think Kirkes is still only 21, 22 years old. He's still very young. So you've lost a lot of experience and a lot of unique weaponry, and you've replaced it with two guys who can't fill those, for different reasons, aren't in a position to fill those shoes yet. And you're seeing it up top. It's having effects right across the team.
Fullback's so important these days. Liam, it's easy to highlight personnel here, like we've just done with the fullbacks, but I think they're a little bit more specific to the other two signings that I want to mention, and that's Isak and Florian Wirtz. £270 million worth of player there into one of the most attacking prestigious attacking talents that we'd seen coming out of the Bundesliga, and Alexander Isak, labelled by certain Mr. O'Meara himself as probably the best footballer on the planet last season. Now let's work out why that hasn't worked. They've not become bad footballers overnight, but why is it not working?
Really good question. And the honest answer is I don't know. To be completely honest, I've got my ideas as to why I think there are problems for both of these players, and I think they revolve around the structure of the team. Some of it's linked to what Scott was talking about, and I think a big issue for Liverpool is Mo Salah, because essentially bought Frimpong. The area of pitch he wants to operate in is where Salah is stood, not doing anything, and I think Slot got onto that quite early, which is why he's not really given Frimpong a sniff. Frimpong's barely played. Instead, he repurposed Szoboszlai to start playing as a right back in the first few games of the season when they've just, as Scott says, gone after the most sought after right back in Europe, probably after Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
And I think that was early doors because Slot realised that Frimpong can't operate in that space. So that's creating problems, I think, for quite a lot of other players as well, because essentially Salah's not getting the ball in the box, is he? He's not looking to interact with an Alexander Isak or a Florian Wirtz. And these are two players that in the previous clubs had the team built around their strengths. And all of a sudden they're having players that are almost not interacting with their strengths on purpose. Liverpool got a real problem with Mo Salah. And I think we'll get into Mo Salah in a bit more detail in a minute. But I think the issues that those two forwards are having are directly linked with the Salah problem.
I've not brought up Hugo Ekitike because I think he's been the one bright light in terms of a consistent performer for Liverpool. I mean, he's not on Erling Haaland numbers just yet, but he seems to be the only one who sort of doesn't give a shit about what's going on around him. He seems to be the one who looks like he's got...
I think that's dropped off a little bit as well.
I agree.
I think he had a good start, but I think the malaise is getting all of them there. Even the better performance of the team. I think Van Dijk's starting to struggle all of a sudden because he's having to teach Konate to play football while he's trying to defend himself. All of a sudden been told that you could be a number 10 if you want. What about all these other number 10s, Arne? No, don't worry about them. And actually, about 6 games later, so actually, no, you probably do need to worry about them. Do you want to go back in defensive midfield? And he's basically corrupted his biggest success story from last season. He's completely thrown in the bin for no reason whatsoever that is justifiable. I think Alexis McAllister doesn't know, again, where to stand because Ekitike feels like he has to get into the game somehow because Salah won't pass to him. So he gets in the way of there as well. And then you've got sort of Florian Wirtz just walk around going, why doesn't anyone just stand where they're supposed to? And I can try and, I might be able to do something here. So, yeah, there's so many problems. So many problems.
So this time, sort of last week, we were looking at a Liverpool team who were starting a real hard week in terms of Liverpool, Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and then Man City. And obviously it's 2 out of 3. It's not awful, but I mean, I did mention like the writing was a little bit on the wall. They got 2 sort of lucky goals. They were gifted goals against Aston Villa. And I don't think a great Real Madrid team turned up. A lot of them were walking around. It was maybe one of the worst Real Madrid performances I've seen for a long time. And I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool. It's beating Real Madrid. It's in the Champions League. Well done.
Liverpool will always lift the performance. I know we don't want to get stuck in the Liverpool Champions League cliche, but it was no surprise to me that they got themselves up for that game.
No. There's no better motivator than Real Madrid coming to town either. It's like, and it's the Liverpool famous Champions League nights, blah, 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 whatever. But performances haven't been there for me.
No.
Let's focus on Arne Slot. You brought it up at the beginning. Let's have a good poke around at him. A lot of what you've said sounds tactical. Observations it is a massive tactical flaw here with, and I don't know if you concur with this, but it just seems like all the players swarm down one side of the pitch, then go the other side of the pitch. There is no action plan. There is no like clear direction of a route to goal for anyone. It just seems like let's get everyone up there or let's get everyone back. And usually they've been done on the counter both ways. Liverpool have been done, they've conceded goals on the counter. They are stuck back and they're not getting enough numbers up forward. So like Wirtz is passing to frigging advertising boards, and Hugo Ekitike stood up on his own. He just seems like a crazy. It's crazy to watch, and it's poor.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I'll let you both run with it here, but for me, it looks like a lot isn't coming from the manager here.
I think Slot's got a lot to answer for in a lot of ways, but I think Liam touched on this a few weeks ago, how you've basically got Van Dijk and Konate who operate as the two centre-halves, and then everybody else in that team. There's not a defensive bone in anyone's body, and there's no... I think another element that comes into that is the recruitment, and this is another kettle fish to get into, is the recruitment has a lot to answer for as well, because Liverpool, when I think about the best Liverpool players throughout history, they're almost players that they kind of stumbled upon. I don't really recall Liverpool ever bringing in, Mr. Big Dick, who's available on the market, and him coming in and being this absolute revelatory signing. Steven Gerrard, Mo Salah, maybe Van Dijk a bit, but they got him from Southampton. He wasn't like he was Real Madrid starting centre-half. They've built him into the player that he is. And they've kind of gone, I said this before the season kicked off, they've gone this Galactico route of best in class, on paper at least, in every position. The Isak, the Wirtz, all the sexiest signings that you can think of. And you've then got a situation where you've got at least four players there, Wirtz, Isak, Salah, and Ekitike, who all think they're the big dog, but there can only be one big dog. And if you've got four people who they're the big money signing, they're on the big money, they want to be that guy. They're not going to be... Isak isn't going to worry about facilitating Salah. Salah's not going to care about passing to Ekitike, because they all want to be that person. And I think they've really let themselves down on the recruitment, more even not from a skill perspective, because these are clearly very talented players. Wirtz, I'm going to put an asterisk in because I don't actually know if he's that good, to be honest. But I think going to say this, yeah. I think the others, you can see there's proven elements of quality. But you've got personalities that clearly don't work well together and don't work well for a Liverpool. You might be able to get an Isak in a Chelsea or a City and play a bit of hero ball and that work.
Yeah.
But Liverpool's built on different stuff in terms of who their best, the common denominator with their best ever players. They're not that big ego-driven megastar, which they've got four of them now. So I think they've made a right hash of that. And Liam, it sounded like you were going to get onto the recruitment as well, but
yeah, I think there's two interesting points that you made. Number one is my main point here. When we talk about Slot, I think there's only so much blame you can put in his door. But I don't think he's handling this well. We've talked about this on the Lost podcast. I think his in-game management has had some question marks about it. But I think the real issue is strategic from recruitment. The strategic recruitment has been proven to be wrong. I felt at the beginning of the season that they were addressing a lot of the problems. I was wrong. Completely wrong. They have created new ones. And I think a big issue with this is potentially where they've not quite lined up with regards to the manager and the recruitment side of things. And I think that, again, and I keep bringing it back to it, is the Mo Salah problem. Because for me, I look at that recruitment and I go, you're building the team after Salah with that. You should now be building that team around Alexander Isak, with Ekitike as your backup number 9. Liverpool play 4 competitions. Ekitike, you should be saying to him, you are the number 2 striker. That's who you are. I'm sorry if that upsets you. You are number 2. He's our man. And for me, you've got 2 or 3 players that can play behind an Isak then. You've got essentially a McAllister, Wirtz, or Gakpo that can play in a 3 behind a 1. And then almost like a pivot 2 of Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. And I would probably want to get one more in that was a little bit more combative. Maybe Endo playing a little bit more, maybe. That then has a bit... And then you've got the room for the flying fullbacks to get forward. It seems to me that they're playing the wrong formation for the team, which we've accused a lot of another manager of doing a little bit. But I just don't know if Liverpool are ready to drop Mo Salah yet. I just feel like the tone's not ready for it. And it's quite interesting, I think, that the same fans that were screaming for the all season for that contract to get signed, and Liverpool not wanting to do it for this exact fucking reason, by the way, in case there's a massive drop-off. Now the fans are turning on him saying that he needs to be dropped. And I think Liverpool fans almost have got their wish and now are sort of reaping what they sow a little bit by demanding all season that they sign that new £400,000 a week 3-year contract or whatever it might be.
You said you brought up a good point that he's created new problems. Do you think the creating of new I mean, they didn't get a centre back. It was very clear that they wanted Mark Gay. They lacked numbers.
Injured all season for Liverpool by the sound of things. Mark Gay, missing Mark Gay.
19 out of the 20 Premier League teams are missing Mark Gay this season as well. They didn't bring in anyone in midfield and also let go of Harvey Elliott. I'm trying to think of someone else.
I think the last thing they needed was an essential-based attacking midfielder. So I think Harvey Elliott. I don't feel like Harvey Elliott, but I don't think he would have been the answer to the problems.
No, but he's a number in there that there isn't now.
They'd take Jordan Henderson back, I think, for this season now. Someone like that in there.
Jump at that. Is that what you were sort of alluding to, that they've created problems, they've left holes around the pitch because they've strengthened elsewhere?
Yeah, they need that kind of... I use Jordan Henderson. And there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek with that comment, but that is exactly the kind of the player that they need in there. Someone who is very aware of their abilities and role within the team. This kind of talks what Scott's about with regarding egos and where people land in terms of their roles within the squad. A Granit Xhaka / Jordan Henderson type /
Yeah, they need Jordan Henderson to do the Jordan Henderson role.
Yeah, Jorginho. Jorginho is a good example.
Perfect, yeah.
And you probably, who would you say at Chelsea's that now, Scott? If one of your teenagers does that now.
Yeah, they got someone who
fucking no one's at puberty yet to take up that experience role. Fucking Chelsea.
But yeah, so they're missing that, really. There's no, other than Van Dijk, who just seems to be losing his mind to everyone. They are lacking a lot of leadership because Salah was never that. Even when Liverpool were at the pump, Salah just seemed to fall out with his teammates left, right and centre if they didn't pass to him. That front three that everyone talks about as being one of the best front threes ever. By the looks of things, you basically had Firmino just trying to make sure they didn't fall out every 5 minutes.
Mane getting subbed every week and fuming about it.
Yeah, they seem to not generally get on, but they tend to, because it was a 4-3-3, they kind of knew where they were supposed to stand and it worked. Whereas with this, they're trying to interact with each other. It's not working. I think Scott's really hit the nail on the head with the ego element. But again, I keep bringing it back to Salah, and he's a player that I love, and I think he's been brilliant. But right. I don't deny what my eyes are showing me, and that he is a problem for them. And I think that's something that I don't know if it's solvable, to be honest.
The headline of this episode is fixing Liverpool. So we've got to do our jobs here now, mate. You've suggested dropping Mo Salah. Liverpool's...
Liam_O'Meara, Twitter.
Yeah, Liverpool fans, get in touch. Tell Liam what you think.
What else is there here? Is it time to... Does Slot need to just bite the bullet, give up the title charge this season? I mean, like I said, they've already got 5 losses. I don't think you can afford another one. I think you've got to be pretty much perfect.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I think you've got to be pretty much perfect now for the rest of the season.
I've got an idea. What do you think, though? So let's see what you think. What's your fix?
I think Arne Slot needs to double down on whatever his plan was from the summer. Do with it what best he can.
Do you honestly think it was his plan? Because I wonder whether there's 2 different things going on at once.
Like, get these players in while they're available.
Yeah, I think Michael Edwards and his super scientist team of nerds upstairs in the little back cave are like, they've got their own plan. And then Slot's got Henry like, I don't know what you want me to do with all these players.
I think that...
I don't think they're in loop. But go on, what would your fix be?
I'd be very surprised if the work on getting rid of Mo Salah hadn't started from the moment he signed that contract. In the building the relationship with Saudi and getting that fee that they've always wanted, because this is the only reason why he signed a new contract. If they were going to go out and buy Wirtz and Isak anywhere, there's no way they would have gone and felt like they needed to sign Mo Salah on a new contract. The only reason he has done is so they can recoup some sort of fee for him. He can leave as a legend. He doesn't leave in the way Trent left. And he has this sort of legacy, if you will, with Liverpool, and he can go to Saudi where he's no threat to anyone ever again. I think Slot's got to double down on that. I do agree that he's got to drop Salah, though. He's got to start phasing him out. To be honest, I thought that at the start of last season, and I was proven wrong, and we all look like idiots when you see someone at 30 and you just start writing them off. But the signs have really sort of started to hit now. So that's...
He's not adapting. he's not, and he has done before. He's not.
He's really stubborn on his role now, which is I'll walk around until you need me. And that just won't cut it now. The Premier League is too fast and too physical. It's so much more physical this season. Like almost overnight.
He's lost that
dramatic
snap
increase. Yes.
Well, like he could take half chances and he would find the top corner. Now he consistently seems to miss those half chances.
Yeah.
So it's not as forgiven. Like you can't. I'm as a passenger. So yeah, that's your fix, is it? Mine. Drop in.
I'd drop Salah at MLN the DJ
Egyptian
if anyone
king
needs to get
thrown onto the dust pile. The Egyptian
No, but I'm not saying
gone.
that. I'm not saying that fix is gonna work. I just think that's what Slot's got to do now. He inherited a fantastic team and made whatever vital tweaks he needed to make them champions last season. Say what you want about the challengers, he made them champions, and that's what it is. They had a fantastic season, and they deserve to win the Premier League. He's now really on a decline with this team and the morale and what seems to be any sort of tactical idea that they've got going on, and he needs to double down on his plan and pull that back up to scratch. And that's where I sit, Scott. How are you fixing Liverpool? I know this is a sort of Sophie's choice of a task for us to like care that much, but this is our job here, and this is the big problem at hand in the game.
No, I'm looking at this and I don't see any quick fix for this. My fix for Liverpool will not be popular amongst our Liverpool listeners, because I think this summer might have done a serious amount of damage to Liverpool for a good few years now, because you've brought the players that you've signed. Let's say Florian Wirtz, you give him a year, and let's say he continues to stink up the Premier League for the rest of the season. What do you then do with someone like that who you've just signed for 120 million quid, call it? I can't remember the exact figure. Let's say it was 120 million quid. He's on about 500 grand a week by all accounts. What do you do with a player like that? And then you could say the same for Alexander Isak. I don't know what money he's on, but he was another 150 million. What do you do? And then he's probably on 400, 500 grand a week. If he for some reason, we're 11, 12 games in, he's barely featured. He's not fit, apparently. Like, what has he been doing? Like,
he's been allowed some serious pre-season times, Isak. Seems as though he had all summer off, and then he just didn't train. He was signed at the end of August, and it's now mid-November.
Yeah, what the fuck's he playing at? He clearly doesn't care that much, clearly, because otherwise he'd have kept himself fit. So you've got these two players. So what you can't do anything with them. You're stuck with them, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, unless you're willing to take an enormous loss. Fucking astronomical loss, which you're not then going to be plugging with prize money from major trophies, because it won't be there. And
it's a big PSR hit. You can't do that now. You can't take that loss. You have to keep them on the books when you've signed them for that kind of money. Don't be wrong; they're in a comfortable position with PSR by all accounts, Liverpool, even with this summer. But you can't do that. I was saying that PSR might be gone next month, so we'll see. But we'll, that's an episode for next month. But anyway, yeah, I think I agree, Scott. I think there's some issues there.
Because another issue I think that they have, and we talked about Arne Slot a little bit, and I'm going to sort of twist the knife a little bit, but not just to be a dickhead. But I genuinely believe, I said this last season, I don't think Slot was this incoming genius that came in and took the Premier League by storm with revolutionary tactics. I think that he benefited from he inherited a team that had highly experienced top players in all the right places in the pitch that you needed them to be. And City fell off a cliff and Arsenal didn't turn up. And all he had to do was not be as bad as they were, which was actually fairly simple in the grand scheme. So what I think they've done is they've heavily invested in a manager who I think they've massively overrated. And I think a lot of people have massively overrated. I've not seen, and as we've seen, as soon as the adversity's turned up a little bit, he's not responded. He doesn't seem to know how to respond despite this wealth of talent at his disposal. So I'm thinking, you've backed a gaffer who doesn't, at the as we speak today, doesn't have the chops to pull themselves out the hole, despite having £500 million worth of talent up top. And then the players that you have invested in, what are you going to do with them if they don't start firing soon? You've kind of put all your eggs in their basket, and the Ekitike one's a weird one. Like Liam touched on there, you're supposed to tell Ekitike that he's your number two. He's the number two. Who's going to leave for 80 million? And a guy, you look at Ekitike, you could take one look at him around the pitch and know that he ain't settling for number two for anybody. Why have they had this? Why have they brought this guy in? There's no way he knew that Isak was coming. There's no way that they sold him a massive dream. So to start unpicking this issue with Liverpool, I think it's going to be years because these players are problematic, but you can't shift them quickly. You're going to have to either be prepared to lose someone like an Ekitike at a massive hit, maybe as early as the upcoming summer. Is he going to want to stick around and play second fiddle to Isak?
Yeah,
I don't think he will. So I don't think there is a quick fix. I think they've really shat the bed on the recruitment. I think they've backed a manager who, in the grand scheme, if you really look at it through a proper analytical lens, he's not really got much cachet to have warranted half £1 billion worth of investment. I think they've got a big issue in so many areas. The Slots, and Liam touched on it, Slots clearly not on the same page as the recruiters either. So,
yeah, I don't know, though. Winning the Premier League,
elastic rubber band ball of shite that they've got to start picking through, and fucking hell, what do you do first? You kind of got to hope that things turn around and that he can get a tune. But if you get to the end of the season, Liverpool sitting in 7th, 8th place, fucking hell, he's got to go.
Keep his job? Does he keep his job if he's finished 7th?
Fucking no way. If he doesn't come, to be quite honest, if he doesn't win the league, I think he has to go. I don't think there's a world where you can give him that much resource after delivering with much less and having keep his job. I don't think it. I wouldn't keep him personally.
Liam,
I don't know about that because there's other context. You never know with Liverpool; they might win the Champions League as well. You just never know with them.
Yeah, they could do. Yeah, right.
They've just always got that in the back of my mind. The first thing I would do, because I agree, Scott. A lot of Scott talk about there is big pitch stuff. A lot of it I agree with, to be completely honest. I think there's a January window that's screaming for a player that they absolutely definitely need, and it's one they will drag back.
Well,
centre back. They need a third option at centre back that is of genuine quality that gives them the option of playing free, which I think may free up quite a lot of their issues. But it's very linked with what you were talking earlier, man. They still have to drop. They still have to drop Salah. Or they look at a 3-4-3, but I can't see that happening.
Are they going to spend on Gay, who's out of contract in the summer?
Possibly,
do you go out and give 25 million? Do you tempt them with the Real Madrid 10 million bid that they did for Alexander Arnold in January?
I possibly would do, because I think you want to make sure. You want to make sure you get him. I think centre back quality is. But anyway, that's only one thing. The key thing I would do now is I start introducing some players that maybe aren't of the profile that we're talking here. Mention one already, Endo. I'd start looking at options like that. Curtis Jones. These sort of players here to try and give a little bit of balance to the team, but you've not got all these egos, and you've got players that are willing to be a bit more of a
squad player. Yeah,
or just like a secondary profile on that pitch. One that more waits for the moment than trying to make it happen for themselves all the time. It seems a small thing, but I think honestly, 2 or 3 of those players in there would make a difference. But I do think long term they need to be looking at a 3 at the back option, because I just don't see how you can sign Kirkes and Frimpong and not play 3 at the back. I just don't. I do not understand that mindset, particularly Frimpong. You are signing Frimpong to attack with Frimpong. You are not signing him to cover Salah's defensively. That's just not how it works. And also, you need to give Van Dijk some protection. We're getting to the point where people start thinking Van Dijk's the problem, which anyone who watches Liverpool for 5 minutes can see he's having to do everyone else's thinking for them. Like,
that's true.
It's outrageous just how bad defensively Liverpool have become all of a sudden. And he must be going absolutely nuts.
It does look like one guy playing with 3 idiots. Like every week.
Yeah, he can't even talk to his goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's just looking like...
Okay, mate. Okay, mate.
Yeah, sorry. It's madness. Anyway.
Right. Anyway, Liverpool fans, please let us know what you think. What is your fix? Are there reasons that we haven't caught here? I feel like we've covered a lot of ground. We've covered tactics, we've covered transfers, team selection. Where is it going wrong? Let us know what you think.
Well, I don't think we said that.
Yeah.
It's keeping that one back. But
For the avoidance of all doubt, we are thoroughly enjoying the Liverpool implosion.
Yeah, Arsenal and Chelsea fans here. Big film. Keep up the good work, Liverpool.
I just like watching anyone suffer, regardless of allegiance.
Yeah, but you're sick. And please remember to, if you enjoy Liam's sickness, it's a mental health problem that I'm trying to monetize. So if you want to, if you want to see me succeed in that, please subscribe, follow, like, and should share and do all that good stuff on any of the platforms that you like listening to us. We really appreciate it. I'll see you in a few minutes. And we're back. This week, fireworks. I hate 'em. Do we all hate fireworks? Bonfire night this week, just gone. I can't stand it. I mean, especially with kids. I mean, Liam, you've got a dog. It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to be that person who comes on a podcast and wonder if, because I reckon 60% of podcasts have had this chat about, oh, it's shit for my dog, but it actually is shit for your dog. Like, honestly, I wish
miserable.
I don't understand why it bothers him so much. Like,
good job. My kids are good sleepers because I mean, but you're just on pins. Like you think it's gonna happen, and then you get idiots just out all night. Go, oh, got one fireworks, 2 knobs.
What I don't understand about
I've
fireworks,
got. Go on.
What's new? Like,
Nothing.
I think once you've seen one firework, you've seen them all. They're not changed in like thousands of years. Like,
I agree.
What are you looking at? It's fucking stupid.
I agree. I have got a fix though. I'm gonna fix bonfire night. Right, I don't want to be a killjoy. I'm trying to make it better.
By
law. It. Well, for a start, yeah. Personal. People can't just buy them now. You have to have some sort of license. That will be my fix. And then they all have to be let off at 7:00 on bonfire night. Every firework.
So that'd be more interesting.
Wouldn't it? How good would that be? Just at 7:00, the fucking boom is coming. Like the whole of England is lit up for like 1 minute.
You're just looking up at the sky, looking at that. Like, there's good stuff on telly. Just watch that. Like, I don't understand. Like,
it's good podcasts to be listening to.
I think if you go to if you've ever been to like Disney World and they're like set to music and they've got like it's like a professional production and there's some firework nerd who's like studied it and knows what he's doing, they could be quite cool. And living in the centre of Manchester, I got to see a lot from my balcony. There was like fucking fireworks all like surrounding me from like miles away, some right in the city centre. That was quite cool to see. But it was mostly just idiots who just bought some from the local shop and just fucking letting them off it.
Even those big ones, like on New Year's Eve when it shows London, even 5 seconds in, it's just the same thing just keeps happening.
Yeah, I'm out.
It doesn't...
Get them drones on.
There's progressively more and then less and of the same thing, basically. Sometimes you chuck those drones in. That's quite cool. That's new. I'm like, all right, that's new. That's quite interesting. But fireworks, no. Like zoos. Once you've been to one, you've been to another. Shite.
Get the drones on. This week also, whilst the fireworks were going off, Champions League.
Fireworks off the pitch and fireworks on the pitch, man. Come on,
fireworks
sharpen
on the
up.
pitch. Champions League.
It was right there for you, that.
Sorry. I'll cut that there. Anyway, while the fireworks were going off the pitch, there was fireworks on the pitch.
There you go.
Smooth. Champions League. Arsenal joint with Bayern Munich. 3-0 win against Slavia Prague. Slavia Prague were fantastic, by the way. Genuinely, like, really good. They were...
So good.
That was Pep-esque, that.
They were probably the best team we played all season. They were just dogging every ball. It was really... You could tell it was hard.
What's got it finish?
3-0.
Yeah.
Because we got Mikel Merino, he's the greatest striker in the world football.
You've lost games this season. You pick a big team, you beat 3-0 as the best opponents you faced all season.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not even joking.
Fucking much better than Liverpool.
What do you think of the Champions League so far? Arsenal is Arsenal and Bayern next. Arsenal and Bayern the top, perfect records each. Our next fixtures are Bayern at home and then Inter away. Inter away.
What do you want us to stay in mind? When do you just ask us? Are Arsenal favourites? Is that what you want to ask us?
That's what I did ask you.
Well, yeah, of course they are.
Are they? For the Champions League, do you make a favourite?
Champions League favourites, yeah. I think you're the best team in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, me too. It's dead annoying, isn't it?
I'm never ever going to say those words.
But
I'm never going to speak those.
But you're going to win it. But
Yeah.
I think on paper, if you were going to ask me to do the bookies odds for it, I'd have Arsenal favourites, and I'd probably have Bayern second favourites, PSG third.
It's just
maybe City fourth. Maybe City.
See, like they're coming into it. We'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, the way that PSG came good, sort of from Christmas as well. There's always something like that can happen. And you mentioned Liverpool as well. I think they're a decent shout for it, really.
Yeah, they're doing well. They always do in Europe, don't they? They've got, like Liam said,
I
they've
know.
just got that sweaty gene in them that means that they can come 15th in the Premier League and win the Champions League. It's just what they could do.
By the way, midweek Champions League, first time we've talked since Mickey van der Ven's goal.
Yes.
Fucking hell, yeah.
I love them goals. But it always seems to be like a Tottenham player gets a goal like that. Like Son would come up with a goal like that every now and then. And
Gallas had that in
Bale.
him.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
It might be one of the footballs I hate the most
Really?
of all time.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
I can't stand him.
He did not rate Arsenal one bit. He did not
He
give a
came,
shit.
he was captain. He took number 10. He fucked around on the pitch. He was a knob. And then
I forgot he was number 10. I remember he was the main one who lost his mind at the Eduardo thing, innit?
Yeah.
He was like throwing the towel in because.
And by the way, he'd already come from Chelsea and then started slagging Chelsea off. And then from us, went to Spurs. No bed.
He weren't
Loser.
arse, was he?
I actually completely forgot he played for Spurs. He was there a while as well. I completely forgot he went to Spurs.
I mentioned then Arsenal playing Inter Milan. One of the news stories I wanted to bring up this week is that the San Siro been confirmed that's going to be getting demolished soon.
It's a
And
dark day.
It is.
A dark
I thought
day in football.
It proper it gave me memories of like FIFA 98 when you could first start selecting actual stadiums, and I think San Siro was like the 5-star ranked stadium or something. It was the first one that had at the time cutting edge graphics. If you look now, it looks like someone's drawn it on a potato, but it was just like a real big moment. It was always like the stadium in the world, really, the San Siro. And then when you learn about the new camp and the Bernabeu, it's one of them 3 or 4 or 5 iconic stadiums. And it's going to be sad to see it go. And I also thought about Inter and AC Milan are going to be playing their home games not together anymore. They're going to be stadium sharing with other teams, I believe. So
that's passed me by. I thought they would. I just assumed. Maybe I should have read the article what I saw. I just assumed they'd been.
Yeah.
Well, I just assumed maybe wrongfully just assumed they'd be moving in together again. But they're moving in with other teams. But they're going seeing other people basically.
They're going seeing other people, but then they will return like long lost brothers.
Oh, I see.
To join the medallion.
Right, I'm with you. So right, you threw me then. So the while the stadiums so they're building on the same site then.
Yeah.
Right, so they're knocking it down, and then one will go to Atalanta, I imagine, because that's only about 20 minutes down the road, isn't it?
I'd have thought one might go to Como, but Como might be too small to do that.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's absolutely tiny.
Yeah, one of them's going living with the mum, one of them's going to live with the dad for a few years.
Well, one will definitely. I've not checked. One will be Atalanta, maybe Inter, because they're the same colours. So yeah, that would make sense.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else. I just thought it was worth bringing up because I think that's a sad one seeing one of the most iconic stadiums that we've grown up with actually to be demolished. Because I thought they'd refurbished, but it seems to be a.
I feel like we have to answer this question now, though. I feel like the listener will be wondering. We can't make the listener leave the podcast on Google. So we have to find out where these Milan clubs are going.
Right.
Can't have people saying that fucking
going?
Fixing Football podcast. They don't tell us.
I don't think it's been said, and I didn't think it was anything we could fix. I just thought it was something worth bringing up. Bit of a retro nostalgia moment. It is a shame that it's going to be going.
Because they're going to replace it with something really fucking... It's just going to look like every other stadium in the world.
Future Bowl.
Yeah, and that's the whole styling of the San Siro is just class, isn't it? It just looks mint.
It's cool. It's really cool.
But apparently it was being excluded from contention for the Euro 2032, I think it is, or whatever the next Euros is that's going to Italy.
Right.
UEFA have said that they can't use it because it's not it's not modern enough, basically.
Right, so they was like, "Hold my beer. We'll whip something else
you
up."
fucking watch. We'll do it.
Can't find where it is. We'll come back to it.
Just leave it at that, Liam. Shame.
We have adverts that are on little posts for now.
We tip our caps to the San Siro and we move on. The last thing on tradition that I want to speak about, Liam, I don't know if you know where I'm going with this.
No.
Manchester United this weekend did something.
Oh, fucking!
In
this is
my
the
opinion,
stupidest thing in the world. This.
In my opinion, this is very stinky, and it's not just my opinion. There was a lot of Man United fans online saying similar thing. So, for those who don't know, Man United have a tradition that stretches back to Wembley, 1930s or something like that.
Yeah, it's 80 years. 88 years, I think it is, isn't it?
Where they have always had an academy product in their match day squad. And like I said, yeah, this goes back 30 odd, 1930 odd, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, so this weekend, after multiple years of failure from Man United Academy and letting people go, like Scott McTominay and any other names elude me right now, but they've just been left with Kobe Mainoo, Marcus Rashford. They've just been left with Kobe Mainoo in the squad as a first team member, so they had to include some young lad, something Fletcher, I'm not sure of his name.
Yeah, Darren Fletcher's lad, isn't it?
Was it Darren Fletcher's lad?
Jobs for the boys. Fucking hell.
But they included him in the matchday squad to keep their streak going. Well, part of it is admirable that they have been able to do this. The fact that they've just continued to do it for the sake of the streak
Correct.
is stinky.
Yeah, it's the same as not doing it. If you're doing it just for the sake of doing it, you're not doing it. Like, it's just that completely trivializes it. You're not actually doing it.
I don't know if any manager would have the balls now to go into Manchester United and do
stupid.
that. You almost can never do it now.
But it's almost funny when we talk about it in this terms. But this policy is probably going to cost Mainoo a World Cup place that he was never wrong to get. Like, he's a brilliant player, Kobe Mainoo, and but Elliot Anderson has completely stolen a march on him now.
Yeah,
and also Wharton's ahead of him in the queue. There's so many that are now ahead of Mainoo in the queue, and in my opinion, these days, probably the best in that position. But he's not going to get in the World Cup squad now, basically because of this stupid rule. And United have got so little left going on that they clinging on to this thing that doesn't matter. No one cares except them. Like,
so true.
No one cares.
Even Man United fans were upset at this.
Bullshit now as well, because they've done this. It now undermines it. They should just let it go now. As like, no, it should be like, let's say a team's had like a drop ball and they've passed it out to goalkeeper. The striker's gone round and gone the keeper, and everyone's all booted off. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that. Now United should not play an academy play in the next game. Just to now say, you know what, we probably shouldn't have done that. We know that we did it because we know it's bollocks. Sorry, lads, and end it like with dignity.
Right. We're stretched for time. We have a few minutes to catch up. Have either of you got any stories you'd like to talk about before we speak about our respective clubs in super brief fashion?
Yeah, I think we'd be remiss not to talk about Sunderland, wouldn't we?
Right, we'll get to that because that's part of Arsenal.
All right, well, other than that, I mean, what else is there? Nou Camp's back. That's back, isn't it?
Is it?
Ish. Well, yeah, they partially opened it. So they're still doing the top tier, but they've moved back.
Fucking hate everything about this club. This
I'm not a fan of Barcelona.
Rotten club.
When that stadium opens, the amount of revenue they're going to be able to generate, it's just going to make all the problems go away.
You'd hope.
It's like, do you ever like meet those people who are just arseholes, but then everything just works out for them? Like they never get the comeuppance because like someone always bails them out, or just some like
Luke.
Who?
Have you ever met Luke Foley? Yeah. So that's nice though. Marcus Rashford's going to fulfil his dream of playing at the Nou Camp. Well done, Marcus.
Right. Liam, you have 3 minutes to talk to me about Bolton Wanderers' fantastic win.
Well, you mean now League One champion favourites, Bolton Wanderers?
Are you really? Are you top now?
No, we're third. We're 2 points off top.
But favourites.
But we've won 8 games in a row at home now.
Yeah.
That's
and
good.
we've started winning away games, which does help when you're trying to win a league.
Cozy Doobies realised that matches don't start at 90 minutes.
Well, yeah, 2 goals and 2 assists in a 4-0 win. Not a bad performance from him. No, and I can even say, like, he wasn't even at his best. Like, it's weird. But what I will say about Bolton is, like, 4 weeks ago, I was being stubborn when I was saying I think things will turn around. And I was watching the Huddersfield game on telly, and I remember texting you all about 80th minute when we were losing, going, you know what? I was wrong. We're playing really well, but we're just going to keep losing.
Yeah.
It's over. I did think that. I was like, I actually give up. And I was like to Luke, you're right. I got to carry away again. I did think we were going to be good this year because it looked like things were all right. And then we scored those 2 last-minute goals and we're not getting it at Huddersfield. And since then...
Season's turned around.
Yeah, we've gone from 10th to now 2 points off top and no favourites to win the league.
Good.
Long live football. Bolton
Long
back.
live football.
The white going up.
Scott Naylor, Chelsea. The return of Liam Delap. Is he going to grace my fantasy football team anytime soon? Seeing as I've gifted you some João Pedro goals after taking him out.
I'd give him another week. You know what? After the international break, he might be all right. You could tell against Wolves he was still a bit rusty. He didn't play badly, but the first half was a lot of like, I don't know if this is like an intentional tactic from Maresca. I feel like it is, that we like just probe and like almost like try and get you bored of us and then wait for a lapse in concentration and then go. So it didn't make for a great game for Delap. He couldn't get on the ball loads. But I reckon give him, let him get sharp and you'll whack him in your team and he'll finish. He'll get the golden boot. He'll get 20 in his next 10.
Cole Palmer's on the way back. Chelsea had their blip, sort of that inconsistent last sort of 5 or 6 weeks? Is that it, or you still sort of see this going on throughout the season, just like going through in waves of form?
I think it's an interesting how the narrative changes with Chelsea, because I think we've won 8 of our last 10 or something in that region. I think the only losses were the random one at Sunderland, and then we had that draw with Karabag, which wasn't great. And then I think the last loss before that was Brighton. So we've not been bad at all. I think we've got highest goal scored in the league. Well, maybe until City yesterday. And we're up there for, I think, second most clean sheets in the league as well. So
it doesn't help the mood, though, does it, Scott, when you lose against your own academy in Brighton? Like, you know what I mean? It's not good for the vibe, does it?
That was another red card that we didn't need to give ourselves and fucked ourselves over. But yeah, I mean, the performances haven't been sparkling, I'll say, but I don't care about that. I just want, I'd do the Arsenal. I'd do shitty, horrible wins all the way to the top. It's nice if you get to see some good football. And yeah, we did all right against Wolves. I think a lot of Chelsea fans were kicking off at half-time saying, oh, it's shit. Basically, we dominated the ball. We just didn't score anything.
Yeah.
And it was panic stations. Everyone's shit. Maresca's useless. And it's like, just fucking chill out. Like, the game is halfway through. And then, before you know it, 5 minutes into the second half, we go 1 up. So yeah, like what I'm seeing from a lot, and I think I said this the last time we played, we're seeing some players who weren't quite fit, like Garnacho, for example, looks sharp now. You can almost feel like he's now had the preseason that he should have had with United, he's kind of had it now through a few games. And he looks sharp, he looks quick, he was brilliant. And yeah, we're third in the table.
Yeah.
We've got Burnley after the break. Then a tough week, we've got Barca at the Bridge, and then we've got Arsenal. But, you know, because you boys have got Spurs, haven't you? First game back.
Bayern, Chelsea, yeah.
So it's interesting, isn't it? So we're 6 points off, and Arsenal, these runaway leaders. Let's say Thomas Frank does the unthinkable, picks up a win in the North London derby. We beat Burnley, and then you come to the Bridge and get absolutely bitch slapped, as you will.
I thought he was going to say applauded off.
No, absolutely not. Cole Palmer's going to be back. He's going to absolutely Gabriel's going to have a fucking heart attack when Palmer's back. And yeah, we could be on 26 points level with you. So all to play for. But yeah, I'm happy with the direction of the mighty Chelsea.
Right.
Speaking of Gabriel, he was made to look like a bit of a fool in the last minute, wasn't he? In the Arsenal game, Martin.
If you think, I was just going to say I'm not a fan of optimistic, happy Scott, and prefer pessimistic, slagging everyone off Scott. I think that's more my vibe.
Next week.
Coming back next week. Gabriel. I mean, it's a good finish. I don't think so. The guy got the run on him. I don't think you're not just going to put down a whole decent performance to 1 goal or a guy where a guy's got a yard on him. And he's barely got a yard, and the guy's thrown himself sideways on a fucking mad scissor kick. I thought it was a great finish. I actually did think we played badly. I just thought Sunderland were almost they were Slavia Prague-esque.
The greatest team on the planet.
I just thought some of them were really up for it and did their jobs really well. I don't think we were bad. We should have held on for the win. I didn't like us going for extra cover in defence. I can't remember who we took. I think we took Trossard off for Mosquera just after he'd scored. It might have been Eze. But even so, I didn't like that. It just encourages us, and we were sat back for far too long, encouraging that extra push from them. So I think that's something we got wrong. I'm not going to single out any player. Please do.
I
thought you were going to talk about Sunderland.
Well, yeah, I will talk about Sunderland. Before we get into the mighty Sunderland, I actually don't think it was that bad for Arsenal. I think you were quite unlucky to concede at the end, and you'd actually gone behind away from home and got yourself back in the lead, playing quite well, scoring goals from open play this time, which was quite unusual.
I thought that the first 25, 30 minutes of the second half was probably the best we've played as well this season.
So it's just one of those things. I think you'll be all right.
If you'd have given me 10 wins and a draw after that Man City game, I think I'd snap your hand off and barely conceded any goals.
I've got a question for you, Martin, Arsenal related. I saw Eze getting quite a lot of pelters online afterwards. Didn't see the Arsenal game, and I've seen a few Arsenal fans say, for the money we've paid, we want to see a bit more. Do you agree with that? What's your take on that?
Usually quite level-headed Arsenal fans as well.
I don't.
Very rational.
I don't like him in the number 10. I haven't. I've never seen him as that being his settled position. I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, yeah, you need to chuck him in there." You see the difference between what him and Odegaard brings. Very different. For a start as well, I think we missed Gyökeres massively. Pushing them back, I think that was a big one. We really started to notice our absences in this one once he'd gone. We've got 7 attacking injuries at the moment, but the squad was still doing well. I'm not using it as an excuse. I just thought it was the first time we'd noticed it. I prefer him out on the left. He hasn't lit any games alight yet. He hasn't. I think he's still getting used to consistently playing against this low block, receiving it really close to the defenders and not having that room to turn. That's it really. I don't think he's playing badly, but he isn't taking games in this number 10 like people thought we were buying the next incarnation of Zidane.
It's so weird because he was what? He's not far off 70 million, was he?
I don't know. So somewhere like that, yeah.
A lot of
it's
money.
Fine, but there's people, some of them even on this call right now, who claim that he was miles and miles ahead of Ødegaard and there was nothing. And you see that there's a level that Ødegaard has as a number 10 that he's so natural at that others don't. I don't think Ez is there, and I think once Ødegaard's back, we'll see more of Eze out on the left. I don't think he's worth dropping yet. I don't think he's been terrible by any means. I think he still deserves to start, and he still makes a noise, and he's one of the few players on the pitch like Trossard who'll shoot. But yeah, it's a solid 7 out of 10 so far. Room to go. I think he'll keep getting better. You say 6, that's fine. Liam, Sunderland. That's my first time properly watching them. A lot of noise been made about Xhaka. Ballard's had a good start to the season. He proved it. Them two.
Straight to the 2 ex-Arsenal players there, but go on.
I'd forgot that Ballard was ex-Arsenal, by the way. I think he made one appearance.
Well, Mickey thought he's current Northern Ireland as well, didn't he, on TalkSport?
He apologised 2 days later.
Yeah, make a run for the England squad.
Yeah, he'll have a job.
Just expunging 30-odd caps off his record.
No, but Ballard has had a good start. But I haven't sat and watched Sunderland. I just heard the noise, so it was my first time properly watching them.
I think noise is the right word, because that's the classic team that's gone up, making a fight of it, and they've got the crowd so behind them.
They're doing it right. Fair play, honestly, fair play to them. They were really hard to play against. They played well. They got what they deserved.
They've invested well. They've bought really good players like Dingra in as well. They've got quality up and down the pitch, and it's just mad when you've got a chance that you can get those home games. They can turn into a right fortress. Like the noise of that place.
Yeah,
it's like when that Ballard goal went in, the first goal. It's just like if you're in a away side, you're in a proper game. Like they've done
Horrible.
They give you, and that first year when you come up, when you sort of, especially when you're giving a black eye to the big dogs, like there's no better feeling. So yeah, it's good to see them enjoying watching Sunderland this year.
Yeah, say it's the fair play. You said giving a black eye then though. That there was a naughty elbow on Marino, which I didn't like, but it was one of them where.
Well, Marino's a big number 9. Surely that's part of playing up front, isn't it?
Yeah,
not getting elbowed in the face on purpose. No, naughty. Van Dijk-esque.
Catamol came back.
It was Van Dijk-esque. He knows what you're doing. You just can't get him for it. It was the most perfectly legal illegal elbow in a football match. But
do you think the Van Dijk elbow or the Harry Kane lean was more snide?
Oh, the Harry Kane lean is minging.
He is a horrible bastard.
He's stopped doing it now, I think.
He's playing in Germany.
Don't need to shoot from fucking 60 yards away. You don't need to.
He's playing in Germany. He doesn't need to put the effort in, does he? He's just tapping him in now. I think we need to mute his achievements in Germany, to be quite honest, because for someone of his calibre, it's just a DOS, isn't it? He's basically on the slow road to retirement.
He's basically like Ronaldo in Saudi, basically.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like.
By the way, Messi's lining it up. I think for some, like, did he extend his contract and he's now on like 38 goals or something this season in MLS?
Well, they'll just keep playing until he breaks ranks, but just make the
I think
don't they?
I think he's just decided, like, mate, you've got to stay for a few more years, so you might as well start trying. He handed his. I'm
not going to pretend I'm watching MLS, but I believe that Messi's really turned on the style over there over the last sort of few months. Like he's turned. It's almost not.
It is literally
he's playing against bin men, but
no,
it's a bit of a pleasure to watch him all of a sudden again.
I just when I go scroll through Instagram, it seems to be Messi again. I'm a bit of a night owl, editing podcasts and such. Right, we'll leave it there. Big week of international football. Liam, who are England playing this week?
Well, they got Albania and Serbia in an order I can't remember. And two countries that aren't particularly fond of each other.
I would really love Declan Rice and Saka to pull out of this camp, and Eze. Get them out. I don't care about it.
And then cry about it like Ben White does. Oh, I never get a look in again.
Don't cry. Can't. Ben White will be back.
We're qualified now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're already qualified. Oh, yeah. Just bring the kids in. Who gives a shit?
Well, it's an interesting squad, though, because he's brought Bellingham back and Foden back, saying Foden and Bellingham have to play into 10.
And brought Adam Scott in as well, which was an interesting one. I didn't see that coming.
Alex Scott.
Alex Scott, sorry, yeah.
They did the young Alex Scott. He's like 28. Everyone keeps talking about him like he's an up and comer. It's like he's not a young lad.
He is a number 2 ego on the pitch, because I never heard. He's one of them you just sort of see on the team sheet. You never take any notice of. I think he's a decent enough player, but
oh no, I don't know about that. He's an ankle socks type long hair, isn't he?
Oh, is he? You're type. You'd love him.
Yeah, he's one of those types. Yeah, so
Maverick.
Yeah, quite an interesting one. It's quite interesting.
It is an interesting one. I didn't see it coming, but fair play to him. Right, we're going to leave it there. International Football Week. So think of a topic for us. We'll speak to you this time next week. www.fixingfootballpodcast.com for all your podcasting needs. Like, share, subscribe, follow us, do something nice for me. Bye everyone, love you.